Real Night Moments.
All right. That was One Man Can Change the World. Of course, we got Big Sean on that track, featuring Kanye West and of course John Legend. Absolutely amazing track right there. I mean, powerful anthem talking about the impact of a single individual on the world. You know, I mean, it was so inspiring what Big Sean was saying about his grandmother in that particular song, and it did so well. Such an inspiring song. It's still Real Night Moments right here on Real 99.3 FM Abuja, part of the Real Broadcasting Network. And of course, we are here with you, making sure that you have a great time. All right, let's get into the conversation right now. One of my favorite segments, and I'm sure your favorite segments on the show on Mondays, The Real Man. Every week we sit down with men who are making impact in their professions, businesses, communities, and families. Men whose stories inspire us, challenge us, and remind us that purpose is not a destination, it is a journey. Tonight we have a gentleman whose career has taken him through courtrooms, boardrooms, and negotiation tables. He's a legal practitioner with 9 years post-call experience, managing partner of David Ojo and Partners, a full-service law firm based here in Abuja. His expertise spans corporate commercial law, litigation, real estate, maritime, oil and gas, energy law, matrimonial matters, and much more. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to please welcome Mr. Mobolaji David Ojo. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Great to have you on the show.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you so much.
All right. So just kind of, I want to be here and be sure that I can hear you loud and clear.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right.
Thank you for having me.
So, you're welcome, and hope it wasn't so hard to locate this place. I know you said you had to navigate a little bit.
It was okay.
Okay. All right. So, if you're listening, you've ever wanted to ask a lawyer a question about life, career, success, or the legal profession, stay with us. Our studio line is 0906-202-9933. We'll open the conversation later in the segment, but let's begin. Let's start at the beginning. How did your journey into law begin?
Wow, very interesting question. All right, so I was in JSS3, and at the time I had an uncle. His name is, we used to call him Uncle Steven.
Okay.
He came to the house to visit for the holidays. That was the first time I was actually meeting my uncle from my mom's side.
Okay.
So he began to talk, and I loved how fluent, coherent, very intelligent, and he had an idea of almost everything.
Right.
And I was very fascinated by his personality. And I asked my mom when he left that, what did he study? Or what is he like? What does he do? My mom told me he's a lawyer.
Okay.
And I told her that's what I want to do.
Right.
Then another second thing that informed or inspired me to be a lawyer was when my mom went to work and she came back. Then we were living in Lagos, so we used to live on the mainland, but she used to work on the island, Victoria Island to be precise.
Oh, okay.
So she was coming back from work, and then she brought this pamphlet of the biography of F.R.A. Williams, Chief F.R.A. Williams, SCN, the first senior advocate of Nigeria. And I read it, and it really inspired me and struck a chord. And that was when it sealed the deal for me that I wanted to be a lawyer. I wanted to be someone that was learned, that could also use that intelligence, that ability to help people solve problems, legal problems, and just, help people achieve their dreams by creating the legal frameworks that secure their interests and help them to fly in what they do. So that was where the journey began.
Wow, interesting. I mean, Chief Frederick Rotimi Alade Williams, and he was conferred with that title of SAN from back in 1975.
Yes.
So
he was
really,
first senior advocate of Nigeria.
Very prominent, and I mean, these people are the men that have changed the world, that now set the course of time.
Definitely.
So, like, were there other, besides law now, this, were there other dreams that kind of, competed for your attention? Like, at some point, like, maybe I want to do this one, because, I mean, I know that I have some experience having worked with you in on some projects.
Yeah.
So there's sometimes when some of these ideas and these projects come like, so did he have any other dreams?
Yes. Yeah. So one of those other dreams that I had competing interest was acting. I wanted to. Yes, in short, I even used to act.
Okay.
Yes, in Lagos.
Oh.
If you go way back, like the first series of Flatmates. When Gandhi, Wilberforce, Coco, I was one of the. Yes.
I remember the face now.
Yes, I was the boy that they used to send on errands. Yes. So I was very little then. I also acted on Mount Zion Productions. I acted in Binta and Friends, Wale Adenuga Productions in Lagos. Yeah, so I was
legend.
I was growing in the acting business, but we had to relocate from Lagos then to Abuja. So it really slowed things down and really affected me. And at the time, I was just about to write my senior WAEC.
Okay.
So they just told me to calm down the acting and focus and write my exam. So by the time I was done, it was just pretty much other things, and that was how I let go of that. Secondly, I used to dance too.
Okay.
I was in dance. I was in a dance group called Stormbreakers.
And
that was in the era of You Got Served movement. Stomp the Yard, all those guys. So
Jonathan is another dancer.
The likes of DNMT.
These guys Marion, and all those guys. So it was a big deal then. I actually thought I was going to be a dancer, like professionally.
Wow.
I'm telling you,
then I guess we must have seen in many of these dance events in Lagos back then.
Well, yes, I was in a couple of them.
Yeah, Jonathan has one dance move. I won't show you now. He's after now. I'll show you. But how did you get into that circle? Like the whole Binta and Friends. Like, how did you get into this?
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was growing up, I'd always had a knack for pursuing my interest, and thankfully I want to thank my mom that she always helped me whenever she saw anything I was interested in. She pushed me. So I started from church, right? I used to always be in the drama team and all that, but every time I used to watch This Life, Super Story, and I was just fascinated by the whole thing. And then my mom just said, it's like you have an interest in acting. I was like, yeah. So every time she would go to work and she's coming back and there's an audition or something, she would bring the parents and say, do you want to try out and all? And I'll be like, yeah. So she would take me, and I always scaled all those auditions.
Yes.
Then what finally, one of the ones that stands out is when I was still in school, I used to watch Binta and Friends a lot.
Okay.
So one of those times there was this advert that if you want to be part of the Binta and Friends thing. So I told my mom, I want to go to this school. I want to attend Binta International High School then.
Right.
Because I feel it's going to be an inroad to get me into that because it was a very tight circle into that production. Yeah. So I remember how then, because my mom was single mom, my dad had passed, so things were very tough financially for us.
Mom, man, shout out to mom.
I'm telling you, shout out to my mom. I'm eternally grateful for her. So, I told her I wanted to go to school, and it was a huge stretch from where I was. So the school fees was quite high. I remember when I went to write the entrance exam and I passed, and he told us the school fees, and my mom just looked and sighed. And I just looked at her, I held her, and I said, don't worry, mommy, God will provide. And supernaturally that week,
I'm
telling you, I go live for you. That week there was this pension of my dad's that had been hanging. They just paid in bulk,
and it came
as they paid, my mom just said, this is your school fees, and she just paid, and that's how I was able to get in. So while I was in the school, one of those days, you see divine providence, they just came to class and said, if you want to try out for Binta and Friends and all that, you can indicate. And I just indicated. I was even the only one I indicated in my class, and I got the slot.
It was meant for you.
Yes, that's how I got in, and I began to act in Binta and Friends, and it was a big, and in the actual Binta was my friend then, and there was another girl, her name was Abundance. I've lost that contact now. I got into that circle. In short, even the Papa Ajasco, the Ajasco kid then was also my friend. We were all in that circle. I know we've lost contact now.
The whole Adenuga production.
Yes, it was a very beautiful experience.
I told you this one is a pure Lagosian. In Abuja blood.
I'm telling you.
Incidentally, we all have, as residents,
we have the Lagos vibes.
It was a huge struggle when I came to Abuja to adjust.
Yes.
Because the hustle and bustle life of Lagos, But eventually, do you know that when I now went, because I did my law school in Lagos, I went back to Lagos to my law school, I was struggling to fit into this Lagos that I felt.
Because you were so calm in Abuja.
Yes, Abuja was chilled. I wasn't used to this jumping from bus. Do you know the first time I came to Abuja, I entered the bus. Before they got to my junction, I jumped down. The guy was like, okay, calm down. I was like, why is everybody normal? In Lagos, nobody waits for you.
Like, seriously.
You jump, you're running, you're on to the next, you know. That was the
I'm still trying to adapt to the Abuja climate.
Right?
You understand?
Don't
Just
worry.
6 months in Abuja.
Oh, don't worry. Give me 1 year. You go back to
the whole Lagos hustle and bustle is still in my blood right now. Anyways, for those of you just tuning in, our guest tonight on the Real Men's Corner is barrister Mobolaji David Ojo, and he is the managing partner of David Ojo and Partners. And if you have a comment or question you would love to ask him right now, 0906-202-9933, and we'll take your reactions right here.
All right.
So let's switch gears a little. We've talked about your childhood memory, right?
Yes.
And we've also talked about different things concerning your growing up. So I want to ask you right now, for people who were not able to achieve their dreams while growing up and everything, what message do you have for them right now?
Thank you. That's a very good question.
Probably they want to, I want to become like an actor, you understand?
Yes.
Okay, I was supposed to do this or that. What message do you have for their parents, for them? Exactly.
All right, thank you very much. I would say I'm also a clarity coach, so let me just put that in there. So I help people to clear up the blow and make informed decisions.
Okay.
Because most times people can be clogged. I just felt I needed to say that. So I help people out with that. So to your question, is that it's never too late to start.
All right.
To pursue your dreams. It's never too late. In short, let me share a life experience. While I was in law school, we had a classmate that was 73. In law school.
73.
Yes.
Baba 73.
Baba 70.
He was Obasanjo's younger brother.
Okay.
He's late now. He passed a few years ago. So it was very inspiring because at 73 he had money.
Yeah.
He had done well for himself. But he said he had always been a lifelong dream to study law.
Wow.
And he came back at 73 and he stood out. He was one of the exceptional students. Like, if they asked questions at 73, he was still sharp. He was very engaging.
Very interested.
And he graduated with very good results. And at least he had that degree for about 5-6 years of his life before he passed. Imagine he never did that. He probably would have lived with the regret of never pursuing his dream. And that just struck a chord with me, that at 73, somebody could still come back to school and pursue his dreams, right? So I would say it's never too late to pursue your dreams. Dreams don't have an age tag on them that, if you've passed this particular age, you can't pursue your dreams. If whatever age you're at, you can pick it up and pursue it. All I would say is build competence, build all the necessary skills you need to build, but don't also say, because I'm building skills I won't engage. Is that one of the greatest skill sharpeners is that you are actually engaging on the job and learning. It's okay to make mistakes, but fail forward, like John Maxwell said. Fail forward, keep learning, keep growing, keep engaging. It's never too late to try again.
So I want to quickly ask, because we're trying to compress a lot of things, and I like the way you're speaking to touching a lot of the things that we want to even ask before we ask them. Just talking them. I mean, it's been amazing so far. I just want to ask now you talked about your journey into law.
Yes.
And of course, we read about how you have specialization in real estate, in matrimonial law, and so many other matters. Besides law now, and you said you've acted, what other caps, what other things do you do, so that we can understand the different hats you wear and how you combine them?
All right. So another thing, the other caps I wear, I'm also I work with young people.
Okay.
I'm the youth pastor of the New Generation Church, which is the young adult arm of the Ford Church, here in the city of Abuja. Okay. One of the best churches in town.
Okay. Thank you for the hype. Let's continue.
Anyways, so I'm also I work with young people. I'm excited excited about young people. I'm a pastor to them, and I think it's one of the greatest honors of my life to shepherd and steward young people. I'm also a clarity coach.
Okay, you
like
mentioned
I said,
that.
yes. So I help people to declutter, because most times in life people feel clogged. There are 3 categories of people: people that don't know what they want, they don't even have an idea of how they want to get to where they want to go. Some people have an idea of how they where they want to go, but they don't know how to engage.
Right.
And then some people that already know how to engage, they don't know when to actually start engaging. So that there are different dynamics. So what I try to do is help you clear up the clog, so that you can make informed decisions and take action.
Wow.
At the end of the day.
Amazing stuff. So I want to say something. I want to ask about now you talked about in Abuja, for instance.
Yes.
Now we've seen what Lagos has done with the tenancy law.
Yes.
I just want to talk briefly on real estate now.
Okay.
We have an accommodation situation in Abuja.
Yes.
We have, what do you think Abuja will look like with tenancy laws? First of all, talking about the current situation of real estate, the accommodation deficit, a lot of people are coming from suburbs and satellite towns to work.
Yes.
What do you think would work for Abuja concerning real estate and even this kind of tenancy laws?
Thank you very much. That's a very good question. I think it's been a burden to me as a lawyer, with the level of high level of discrepancies, and I think it's leaning from the lacunas, the gaps in our legislation on tenancy. So you would see that there is no clear regulations on pricing, on how to on how to curate your rates when it comes to tenancy, even across Nigeria, but precisely right here in the city of FCT. And we see that gap, a lot of landowners, house owners are leveraging on that. Yes, I want to be a house owner, but we have to stop being unreasonable. I have a lot of cases where people, like just a month or 2 weeks to the end of their tenancy, their landlord is writing to them that is increasing their rent by 100%.
Exactly.
For no reason.
I
mean, these are not new houses.
Exactly.
Nothing is being added to the house. There is no improvement on the house to inform us why you're increasing this rent. And then they give them that they don't have an option to negotiate these rates, that it should move out immediately or risk legal action against them. And some of them even go forward to sign and stamp with the courts so that they don't go through they boycott the legal process of taking them to court to actually take them out, and they just forcefully eject these tenants without having to go to, because they know that when they go to court, there's no reasonable court that would approve those things. So I think one of the things we need to do is review the Recovery of Premises Act, the tenancy laws in Nigeria, to bring in price regulations before a landlord can increase his rent. There must be reasonable and justifiable grounds, one, why that rent is being increased. There must be reasonable improvement, and there must be adequate notice. Presumably, the law gives 6 months notice, so that it gives the tenant an opportunity to consider other options if he does not want to continue. That's when there is no outright provision in law. There's a presumption of 6 months notice for a yearly tenant. So these are things that must be stated in our new laws, reviewed. Somebody cannot just wake up tomorrow, your rent is probably 1.5 or 2 million, and he just wakes up and say he's increasing 3.5, maybe because the area, they improved the road.
Yes, the area is not.
Do you understand? Or they built a new estate, a hotel across, and people are coming. The landlord from nowhere, and probably there's no water in the compound. There's no proper lighting, because there are some houses that don't even have, like estates that don't have a transformer. They are tapping from somewhere, so they don't have good lights.
So they're doing one day on, one day off.
In short, let me tell you one current, and I'll round off on this question. There's a current issue right now of a particular client that lives in a place, and they don't have water. They were actually tapping their light from the IDP camp close to them. And then eventually, most of the landowners, they were doing that, but they now got their transformers. But this particular house, they refused to get the transformer. So as I speak to you, for 3 months, they've not had light.
Can you imagine that?
They've not had light. And then the landlord reached out and said he was increasing the rent.
Why?
And then they were like, no reason. And they were like, we've not had water, we've not had light for 3 months, and you are increasing the rent. And they told them if they're not willing to pay the actual new rates, they should move out. That's why they had to.
And the moving out is immediate.
Immediately.
It's not like, oh,
they're not even going to give you. There was even one close to this one where there were broken parts of the house and all. And the tenant was reaching out to the landlord that these things are falling apart, and we just moved in and it was not as a result. It was because of poor materials and all that. And the landlord said, if you can't keep up with it, sure, we're even increasing the rent. Move out. And she was like, okay, give me 1 month to get a new. He said, no, I'm not giving you a day. And if you don't move out, we're going to come and throw you out. So these are the things that have to be. Yes, I know they are unreasonable tenants. I've also dealt with that. Right. But we have to balance these issues. And because at the end of the day, we're all human beings. These landowners were one day tenants.
Okay.
Their kids are going to be tenants someday. And these are things we need to think about in what we're doing.
Amazing stuff.
Wow, very interesting.
We've been talking to Mobolaji David Ojo, lawyer, pastor, clarity coach, and just actor, thespian, all in one. We've been talking about like
3 in 1.
I just wanted to quickly say, before you go, just share one thing people assume about lawyers that isn't true.
I was about to even ask that particular one.
Let's bust the myth.
You know, there's always the mythology like lawyers are the best liars, and when they get to the court of law, they say raise up your hand, use the Bible, use the Quran, but they fail to use the traditional one.
All right, so first thing, one mythological thing that is not true about lawyers is that when a lawyer passes, they don't bury us upside down. That's one thing I would hear. Yes, that they bury lawyers upside down, because that's not true. That's not true.
Wow.
Another thing is that lawyers are not liars.
Okay.
Lawyers deal on evidence.
Okay.
They said they are the best liars.
We are not. And you know what? You will not appreciate this position till you are probably in that shoe.
In soup.
We speak.
I need help.
Yes, we speak to evidence, because just a certain narrative can change based on a fact that was not properly put together. So there are always different variants. For example, let me just give this example. So maybe it's probably even in the ultimate issue of a murder case, right? Somebody was framed for murder or something, or said alleged to have committed murder. There are different things. It could be that this person was violently rushing to them, and in the act of that shock, they acted. So they didn't probably mean to murder this person. But what the layman would say is that he committed murder, he should be put on the stake, he should be known. We have to look at the evidence and speak to the circumspect issues around surrounding.
Man, it's been a pleasure having you. I wish we could stay longer, but we've got to go right now. Thank you.